Hello everyone. When I returned to riding after a 30-year gap, I remember the nervous feeling as I wheeled the bike out of the garage for the first few times. If you are returning to riding or a new rider, join me as I ride around my home city of York and you will see me navigating some hazards along the way. Stay tuned for a glimpse of the historic Roman city of York as I ride along.
So we're just following the white Audi. Junction off to the left. Okay, the Audi's pulling across, so we'll just ease past. We don't want to go too fast. We've got traffic merging from the left, so we just need to be aware of that. All clear. Two bikes behind. Looking for speed cameras on the bridge, which sometimes they put speed vans on these bridges. None today. Okay, so the little red car, I was aware that potentially that was going to happen. Anybody stuck behind a HGV is likely to be looking for a way past it, so always be aware of that. We'll just ease through. I don't like the HGVs, as we know. So brake lights from the Audi, we'll just ease back a touch, probably just because of this junction. Slip road off to Selby. So we're clear, we're okay. Just ease through there. Lifesaver, move across to the left. So down here we've got a slip road with merging traffic. Absolutely clear. Mirror check, still got the two bikes behind. Another bridge down here which sometimes has speed cameras on. Not today. Lay-by, so I'm looking for dogs, children, people moving around. Nothing going on there. So I'm staying in the left lane now, so I'm taking the next exit. It's just about a mile down here. I'll just sit tight and enjoy the afternoon's ride. Mirrors, check. So this is heading into York. Just going to use a cross, so we'll just check behind. It's fine. Got the red lights in front, so just easing down, gear to match the speed. Front brake, change to back brake for the actual stop. keep going on this roundabout, yeah. So we're going to indicate left and go in the right hand lane, lifesaver. So we've got a crossing there, all green. We've got a junction off to the left. We can see that bike trying to get out there. Probably not going to bother us too much. Delivering his pizzas by the look of him. We've got the green light, that's absolutely fine. So crossing again, school crossing there. In fact, it's my old school. A long time since I've been there. We've got traffic lights here. Should be prioritised. Can you believe it? Just to say that, we've changed. There are various schools of thought when you're in this position about should you be in neutral or in first. I prefer to be in first, just ready to get away if you need to quickly. So we're just riding down Hull Road now. It's an area I grew up in, so I'm very familiar with it. So we've got the crossing there, cyclist. I'm looking way ahead. There's traffic lights coming up in the distance which you can't see just yet, but I'm already thinking of those lights. The pizza man is pulled out in front of us, but that's fine. So there are the lights. Just changed to green. I'm not sure if we'll get through on that run. We might do. I'm just going to ease in behind the cars because I want to go to the garage for some fuel. Watch out for the pedestrians, watch out for the Waitrose. So just do a little bit of commentary through town. There's a lot going on obviously, so can't pick up everything that I'm seeing, but I'll have a go. So we got the traffic lights, we're going to be first, so we just gently cruise in, first gear, back brake only. Back brake only to a stop on the line. Remain in first gear. I'm fully aware of the Mercedes behind me. We've got pedestrians. They should be clear. Got a filter for straight on. Actually, I'm just going to queue in lane here. The RT is a big wide old bird for filtering. Sometimes it's just easier to wait your turn. So by way of introduction, my name's Andy. My YouTube channel is York Biker 60. I'm slightly over 60 now, but I was 60 when we set up the channel. And one of the reasons for the channel, along with just recording some rides, is that I had a long gap in my riding career, in that as a young lad I passed my test on a Honda CB175. My dad used to have a Honda C90, which was the first thing that I ever rode. Graduated onto a CB175. That was the fancy one with the electric start, for anybody that can remember them. Passed my test when I was 17, which was 1978, and then bought a Honda 504, which I wish I still had, but I haven't, so there we go. They are worth a fortune now, and it was absolutely fantastic. Then life comes along, children, marriage, house, so the bike was a casualty of that, and in fact remained a casualty for 30 years. Yes, 30 years. So I bought the RT when I was 60, thinking it was a good idea, and it has been a good idea. It's been a great idea. I absolutely love riding it, but it's a very steep learning curve, so I thought, let's make a few videos for anybody returning to riding after a long break, just with a few of my experiences along the way, which may be helpful, because there was very little to help me in that position. Now, the obvious thing to say, lifesaver there, is that riding a motorbike is inherently dangerous. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It is very dangerous. So we need to do all we can to mitigate the danger as much as possible. And the first thing I would suggest is good gear, good riding gear. So I'm wearing a very thick jacket with armour, back protector. I've got motorbike jeans on, which have got hip protectors, knee pads, and boots, and I would be wearing exactly the same if it was 80 degrees and the middle of August. That's the first point. And the second point is training. So as an experienced rider, I had a full motorbike license. Back in the day it was quite easy to obtain. In fact, I will do a video about the old motorbike test, because it's comical really compared to the testing of today. One of the things that I picked up from watching some of the stuff that is available is that training is essential. So I hired a guy. Ian is a retired police motorcyclist, and I spent 3 or 4 afternoons with him. I followed him, he followed me, and the knowledge that he passed on to me that I had forgotten. Now, some things you don't forget, I can absolutely reassure you. In a way, it's a bit like, well, the saying is, riding a bike, and you are riding a bike. It's just a bike with an engine. So some of the things you don't forget, but some of the things you do. And spending time with Ian was absolutely priceless. He reminded me about the long vision, so looking as far in front as you possibly can, so it gives you more time to react to anything that may happen. And I would urge anybody to seek out similar training. We covered some slow speed work, we covered some motorway riding, we covered some twisty stuff. So the positioning, to be fair, I think the positioning I had remembered most of. Some of the things that I had forgotten were the counter steering. I think I wasn't as aware of it as it's probably one of those things that you do naturally, really, but being more aware of it certainly helped me. But the main thing that I took from all of those sessions was the need to drive in effect that everybody's out to kill you. So in effect you're driving defensively, and also the vision. I remember one particular occasion where I'm just turning right here, so I glance behind, lifesaver, gear to max the speed. One particular occasion I was following Ian and he said to me, right, I've picked up the transit van. This was on a country lane. I could see no van at all until I looked across a couple of fields and the van was on the twisty road, and we were going to meet the van on the next corner. And that type of thing it just avoids a crisis when you get to the corner, because you're expecting him to be there when you get there, rather than coming around the corner and thinking, oh hell, there's a white van. This is York Racecourse, by the way, one of my favourite haunts. I've always liked horse racing, and I had a betting shop for 16 years, so love the racing.
I hope that you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to see my future content.